Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this tutorial, we're going to begin a whole new series on how to work with multimodal LLM applications. We're going to specifically focus on Google's new Gemini. So you probably saw the videos of Gemini going all around. So I'm going to show you how to do multimodal LLM applications using Google Gemini. Okay, so in the past videos, you have been doing a lot related with AI, basically in the past year. So you have learned how to work with RAG using LangChain. Okay, so it's just a library to work with RAG system and basically work with LLMs. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be using a different library, which is going to be called a llama-index. And llama-index is also another great library for working with RAG system. In fact, I love llama-index. Okay, so I'll make more videos about how to build RAG applications and other stuff, complicated techniques in RAG later on. But for now, I just want us to focus on how to work with multimodal LLM applications using Google Gemini. So you're going to go ahead and look at the very basics of Gemini and how to work with multimodal LLMs. You're going to look at stem prompt. You're going to look at asynchronous completions with single images, asynchronous completion with multiple images. Like basically, you can submit an image and then the multimodal LLM can work with basically text or basically images. So we're going to see how we can do all of that. You're also going to be looking at how to get structured output from multimodal LLMs. And finally, we're going to take all that concept and build a very final project, which is very, very interesting. So let me just show you what the project is going to be about. So basically, let me just show you what the project is about. So I have my application running right here, and it's a Streamlit application. So basically, I can go ahead and simply upload any file. So I'm going to upload an image of Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, and it's going to go ahead get the image, get for me all the personal informations of Ronaldo, including his age, his name, his place of birth, and then you can see all that being displayed up here. So I just uploaded a picture of Ronaldo, which is this picture right here. So you can see I get back using multimodal LLM, I get back all the details of Ronaldo, including his name, his nationality, the day when he was born, where he was born at, and then where he was born at. You also got the location information of when he was born at, meaning the longitude and latitude of this specific location, and we simply plot it inside of this Streamlit graph right here. Okay, so sorry, the Streamlit map right here. So you can see that map right here. You also got the height of Ronaldo, which is 1.87 meters. You also got his weight in his weight in kilograms, okay, which is around 81 kilograms. So basically that's it. You can upload a picture of anyone, including yourself, and you'll be able to get back information about you if you're popular in Gmail and the internet knows about you, right? So if I upload a picture of me, I don't think I'm gonna get back all this information because I'm not famous, right? I'm not famous on the internet, so I wouldn't get much information about myself. But basically, if you upload a picture of any popular individual, you can get the information. Okay, so this is just a simple simple multimodal application. In the upcoming videos or in the upcoming times, if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll do more advanced videos and show you how you can create even better applications than this using multimodal applications. Okay, so some of you might be out there who are Messi fans and you're like, why Ronaldo? Why does he have to use Ronaldo? Okay, fine, that's okay. I made a whole video demonstrating this project and how everything is going to be going about. So I'm just going to show you a simple video of that. I'm going to add that video to this so that you guys can see everything. In that video, there is also I uploaded a picture of Messi as well, so that Messi and Ronaldo fans are always crashing. So I also uploaded a picture of Messi, and you can see that in the final project. Uh, Basically, a simple demo of the final project. Let me just go ahead and show you that demo. Okay. Okay, so welcome back. So I hope you saw that video now. At least Messi fans are at peace. Okay, so now let's get started and let's start working with how to set this up. So let me just go into my folder, my project folder, which right now has nothing inside of it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a Python virtual environment. And to create a Python virtual environment, I'm going to simply say Python 3 hyphen m VNV and then VENV and then press enter. So the second VNV can be anything that you want, but I'm just gonna leave it as VNV because you can leave it as ENV or VNV, okay, or any other name that you want. Okay, so this is the name of the folder. You can see the folder is right here, env, which is a name right here. So you can use any name right here, but all these other ones must remain the same. So that's how you create a Python virtual environment on Windows and on Linux and on MacBook. So if you're using Windows, the command for this is a bit different. So you can just go on the internet and find out the command about it. It's actually very simple. But Windows, I think you have to say py and then hyphen m VNV and then VNV. That will also work on Windows. Okay, but for Linux and MacBooks, this is a command to create a Python virtual environment. And Windows, instead of doing ls, you're going to use dir. Okay. Okay. So once we have that, now I'm going to go ahead and activate my Python virtual environment. So to activate my Python virtual environment, I'm going to say source vnv /bin/activate. Again, you have to use the name of the folder right here. So if you use a different name, then you have to specify that name here, and then bin. There's a bin folder, and then inside that folder we have an activate file. Okay, so press enter, and you can see our virtual environment is activated, and you can see the name of the virtual environment right here. That shows that it's activated. Good. So once we have that, now let's go ahead and install all the libraries that we need to get this done. So I'm going to go ahead and simply say pip install. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and install Python hyphen decouple to help us read virtual environments. Okay, you're also going to install llama hyphen index. You're also going to go ahead and install Pydantic. You're also going to go ahead and install Google hyphen generative AI, and then you're going to say the version is going to be greater or equals to 0.3.0. Okay, that's it. And let's see. Yeah, that's all the libraries that we need. So I'm just also need to install Streamlit for the UI that we saw. So I'm going to go ahead and press enter, and that's going to go ahead and install all the libraries that we need right there. So pip install Python decouple, llama-index, Pydantic, Google generative AI, and also we're going to install Streamlit. Okay, so I wonder why this is taking longer than usual. Say why is it taking longer? But yeah, that should go ahead and install all those dependencies for us. So once this is done, I'm going to be back recording. Yeah, so just to correct a mistake that I made is that you have to surround this Google generative AI this right here. You have to surround it in single quotes for this to work. So my bad, I forgot to do that. So that's basically what you need to do. That's why it wasn't running initially. So basically, you just have to surround this inside of single quotes. Okay, so I forgot that step, so that's why it wasn't running. But now it's running. So this is basically the command right here: pip install Python decouple llama space llama index Pydantic, and then quotes, single quotes, Google generative AI greater than or equals to 3.0, close your quotes, and then finally Streamlit. So that's the command right here. So sorry for that issue right there. I forgot the commas, the quotation marks right there. Okay, so that's it, and that should run and basically install all the dependencies and libraries that we need to begin to work with multimodal applications. Okay, so let's just give this a bit of time to get that, and I'll be back recording. Okay, good. So we have all that installed. We are good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear the terminal, and then I'm going to go ahead and open up my text code editor. I'm going to use VS Code. Feel free to use any editor that you're comfortable working with. Okay. So once I have that open, just give me a bit of time to configure this properly so that it's all set up and well. So I think I have to get ahead and delete this right here. That created a folder instead. So I'm going to move it to trash. Okay. Okay, so I have that open up my VS Code. So I'm going to go ahead and create a close this. I'm going to go ahead and create a folder right here. I'm going to call it basics and then press enter right there. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and add in a file called lesson underscore 01.py. Okay, so now to work with Google's Gemini, we have to know how many versions of Gemini are available, right? Which models of Gemini are available, because I think that right now there are about 2 of them, but now let's go ahead and actually write the code to find out this out from Google itself. So I'm going to go ahead and say import. I'm going to import Google. Sorry, this is Google. Google Google hyphen and then Google dot and then generative AI. And you're going to go ahead. You're going to import it as gen AI. That's it. That's basically what you need to do. So close this right here. Again, if you want to read more about this library, you can always find more about it from here. So this is our official page, and also we'll come back to this page just to get an API key. So let me just leave it for now. We'll come back to it just in a second. So once we have that imported, you're also going to import from decouple. I'm going to go ahead and import config just like that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead now. We need to have a Google API key in order to access Gemini. Okay. So now to have a Google API key, we need to go ahead and go to this website right here. Okay. So we need to go to this website called makersuite.google.com /app/API key. So I'm going to leave this link in the description of the video. Again, if I forget, you can just simply pause the video and type this out. It's called makersuite.google.com /app/API key. Okay. So once you're in here, we can go ahead and go under you can click on API key, and then you can go ahead and get an API key, or you can create a new API key. So I'm going to use this API key right here. So I'm going to click on it and simply copy it. So once I have it copied, I'm going to go ahead and add it to my project folder. So I'm going to go in here, create a new file. I'm going to call this file.env, and it has to be dot and then env because it's an environment variable file. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and simply say Google _API _key, and then say equal, and then paste in the my API key that I just copied from that website right there. Again, if you are thinking of using my API key, I'm going to delete it after this video, so that won't work for you. So make sure you go ahead and get your own API key. Okay, so Google _API _key, and then paste the API key that you copy from makersuite.google.com. So that's it, and then get that API key and add it to your project folder instead of the env file. Okay, once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and close this. So how do I read that value from the env file? And that's why you have config. So I'm going to simply say config, and then pass in a string. Now you need to go ahead and pass in these keys that you use inside of your environment file. Copy that key and paste that key right there. Okay. So once that key is pasted right there, now we have access to that Google environment variable file, which is the Google API key. Okay. So once you have this, I'm going to go ahead and say gen AI dot configure, and I'm going to go ahead and pass in a couple of things. So I'm going to pass in API _ key. API key is going to be equals to the Google API key that we just have above there. I'm also going to go ahead and specify the following. So I'm going to specify the client _options. This is going to be client options. I really hate this suggestions at times. So options, and then say equals to, then go ahead and specify a Python dictionary. So you need to pass in a key, and the key is going to be API _ endpoint. So endpoint. So let me get the spelling of endpoint right. So endpoint, and the key of this and the value of this key is going to be generative language, and then finally say dot Google apis.com. So that's basically the endpoint that you're aiming for. So generative language.google apis.com. Okay, so that's basically what you're looking for. And once we have that configuration set up, you can simply go and say for m in gen AI dot lists _ models. Okay, we are going to call, that's actually a function that we need to call. And you call that function, you're going to iterate through that function, you're going to get an iterable, and you're going to iterate through that iterable to get each of those models. We're going to say if generate content in m dot basically m dot support basically supported m dot supported _ generation _ mode methods, and then finally you're going to go ahead and print m dot the name of that model. So that's basically, so if generate content, so make sure we watch out for the casing right here. Generate content is camel casing in m dot supported _ generation _ methods. You're going to go ahead and print that. So this is going to list for us all the available models that Gemini provides. Again, how do I get all this code? This code is all available on their website, right? So you can go ahead and click on documentation. In this case, there are a couple of languages. You have Android, you can use JavaScript, you can use many things, right? So basically, you're just using this right here, Python. So click on that. And that's where you find the documentation for Python and everything that you have done, how to install it, how to get the keys and all that stuff. That's all. We can get all that from here. Okay. So once we have that done, basically we can go ahead and run this code, and basically if you have any typo, this should work. So I'm going to change directory into my basics folder, And once I'm in, I'm going to do Python 3 and then simply say lesson1.py. So run that, and this is go ahead and print for us all the available models that they have. So you can see we have two different models. We have models for / Gemini Pro, okay, which is just without the vision one. And then we have another one called Gemini Pro Vision, Gemini Pro Vision, and this is a model that we're going to be using for our multimodal LLM, because a multimodal LLM basically combines the text capability of a uh, generative AI LLM application and the ability to also understand images. You can also understand other things like audio and other stuff. But now you're using only the vision part. Okay. So good. So once you have that done, you can go ahead into lesson 2. So that's basically how you get into. You can get the list of models available. So now let's go into lesson 2. And in lesson 2, you're going to go ahead and learn something different. So in lesson 2, you're now going to go ahead and work with basically how to you can upload an image and then tell Gemini to give us uh, basically ask questions about that specific image. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new file. I'm going to call this file lesson underscore 02.py. Okay, so in lesson2.py, you're going to go ahead and you're going to import everything that you did before. So I'm going to go ahead and say from the couple, I'm going to go ahead and import config so you can read our environment variables. I'm also going to go ahead and import OS to set our environment variable. Okay, so once we have that done, I'm also going to go ahead and install llama-index. Okay, so if you have llama-index currently installed on your machine, just make sure that you uninstall it and then install it again. For those of you guys who are using a different Python virtual environment and you already have llama-index installed, so you skip the step of installing llama-index, just make sure that you uninstall and reinstall it again, because it has some updates that we're going to make use of. Okay, so I'm going to say from llama underscore index dot multi-modal LLMs dot Gemini. I'm going to go ahead and import Gemini multimodal right there. So good. So once you have that, I'm also going to say from llama index dot multimodal LLMs dot generate utils. I'm going to go ahead and import the following. So I'm going to import a couple of things. So I'm going to import load image URL. That's it. So I'm going to use images are hosted online, so you don't have to actually download your own images or anything like that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and say os.environment. We're going to set the environment, and you're going to go ahead and set the environment key as Google underscore API underscore key, and that's going to be equals to config, and then you're going to read in a value from the environment variable file right here. You're going to simply pass in that env, which is the name that we gave right here. Okay, good. So once we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and simply say image underscore URLs, and it's going to be a list of image URLs. So I have a bunch of images on my Dropbox, so I'm going to simply go ahead and drop the URLs for those images right here. And you can find the URLs for those images in the video description as well, so that you don't have to go ahead and actually upload your own image. So I'm going to go in here and simply get these images right here. So this URL right here, I'm going to copy that and go back in here and simply paste in that image URL. Okay. So again, I'm going to make all this code available to you on GitHub as well. So you can also get this information on GitHub as well. Okay. So once I have that there, what I'm going to simply go ahead and do, I'm going to say image underscore documents is going to be equals to load image URLs, and basically I'm going to pass in the image. We're going to pass in the image URL argument. So image URLs, and you're going to say equals to image underscore URLs that we had up there. So good. So once you have that done, you're good to go. So we're going to say Gemini underscore pro underscore vision, which is the model we are using, because we got the model as Gemini Pro Vision. So I'm actually going to copy this right here and then go back inside of my terminal. It's going to be equals to Gemini multi-modal. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and pass in the model underscore name, and the model name is going to be a string of what we just copied. Okay, so once we have that done, we are good to go. So we just pass in the model, the name of the model, which is just what we got from the first lesson. Okay, good. So once we have that done, I'm just going to go ahead and print responses. So I'm going to say response is going to be equals to Gemini Pro Vision, Gemini underscore provision dot complete, and then finally passing basically a prompt. So let me just get the spelling of complete right. I'm going to go ahead and pass in a prompt. I'm going to say prompt is going to be equals to, I'm going to say what is the name of the vehicle in the image. So this image I uploaded, it contains a Porsche, right? A 2019 Porsche 911 Carrera. Okay, So it's just a Porsche 2019 Porsche 911 Carrera. So basically that's it. And you're going to go ahead and tell it, ask Gemini to tell us what image it sees. Let's see if it gets that right. So what is the name of the vehicle in the image? Okay, that's our prompt. And then basically now we need to pass into it now which image are we talking about. And you're going to pass in the image document. It's going to be image, basically the image documents that we have up there. So good. So image document, and this is the image document that we have up there. So once we have that done, you can simply go ahead and print out the response that you get back. So print, and we print out response. That's it. Print response. Okay, so that's all we need to do. So once we have that done, let's go ahead and run this and let's see if it works. So I'm just going to say Python 3, and it's going to be lesson 2.py, and then run that. So now it should tell us about the name of the image, that the name of the vehicle in the image. So I can actually copy this URL right here, and you can also paste this in a browser, and you can see which image I'm talking about. It's for Porsche. Okay, paste that right there, and then run that. So it should show us the image of that Porsche that we just uploaded. So this is the image that I uploaded of a Porsche vehicle from my Dropbox. So now let's see if it gets that right. So the vehicle in the image is a Porsche 911 Carrera. Awesome. I got that right? So that's actually a Porsche 911 Carrera 2019 model. Okay, so that's the image of the vehicle, and it goes that right. It's just incredible, right? So you can actually test this out and upload different images and see how that works. Okay, so that's basically lesson 2, and you have learned how to basically upload an image and basically prompt the LLM to get information about that specific image that you are interested in, right? So that's really what lesson 2 is all about. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to working with Steam prompts with a single image. Right now we're going to work with a single image, and later we're going to work with a multi image. Okay, so now we have everything right here. I can simply copy all the code right here, so I don't have to waste a lot of time typing this out. So I'm going to call this one lesson underscore 03.py dot py. Okay, and then paste that in there. So in lesson 3.py, basically you're going to have the same code, import the same things, set our environment variable, and now we have passing our image URL, which is a single URL image. And then finally we load the image into an image document. We load the model that you want to use, which is Gemini Pro Vision. And then finally go ahead and get basically a response. But now this is now the part that's gonna change. Okay, so we're going to now use a Steam response underscore response underscore complete. Sorry, Steam complete, and then finally that's it. And yeah, okay, so now we can also ask it a question. Let's ask which year the car was made. Which year is the model? Okay, so we ask it which year is the model of the Porsche that we just uploaded. So now that we have that, now you can just print it out. Now you basically like kind of like you can like now stream the content, right? So we're going to say for basically let me just change also this to be a stream underscore response is going to be equals to a stream completion. We're going to say in stream underscore response basically stream response, and then that's it. And I'm going to go ahead and simply go ahead and print out the r.text. Basically, if you're using you're building an endpoint like an API, and you need to stream the data into a front end and have it being displayed like ChatGPT, like the text does not come in one chunk, it comes like the bot actually typing it, right? So if you're doing such a thing, you can use a stream response, and if it basically use a server SSE, so SSE server sent events, and then basically be able to stream that response to the front end and then display it like this. Like you have ChatGPT, things are being streamed onto the output, right? So that's basically it. So once we have this done, we are good to go. And let's run this and see what we get. So clear the terminal. I'm going to say Python 3, and then it's going to be lesson 3, right? So lesson okay, let me see, what did I write for this? Yeah, lesson lesson hyphen 03 dot py. Okay, it's not picking it up. Why is that the case? So let me see. Python 3 and then lesson 3.py. For some reason it's not getting it. So let me see. Okay, so Python 3. Okay, I use double S there. So let me just rename this to just a single S in lesson. Okay. Okay, so once you have that done, and then say lesson, and then it's going to be lesson 3. Clear the terminal and then run that code again. So once we run this code, now we should also now we should now be able to stream the responses onto the screen, right? You're not just getting the response in one chunk, but you're getting it in multiple chunks. Did you mean stream complete? Okay, so I made an error right there. Is okay. I actually made an error. That's totally stream. Okay, so my bad for that. Sorry for that typo. So once I have that, I'm going to run this again. This is actually stream complete. Okay, I think I made an error from even in here. It is actually supposed to be stream. So my bad for that. So I think that's what affected me to write Steam there instead of stream. Right. Okay, so now sometimes this can take a bit of time, and sometimes you might get an error that says internal server error on the end, but that's basically maybe because the server is too busy. So sometimes you have to run it a couple of times to get the output that you want. Okay, so that's basically, so the vehicle in the image is a Porsche 911. Consider the model is a 2020 model. Okay, okay, that's actually interesting. The model is actually a 2019 model. So if you look at this, it's actually a 2019 model. Even in the image name I specified as 2019. So here in the URL you can see it's 2019, but it said 2020, which is not that far at all. So actually good. You see, you can actually upload an image and then have conversations about that image. You can even ask it what's the top speed of this vehicle, and it should give you that information, hopefully correctly, right? So that's a Porsche 911 Carrera. Okay. Okay. So now that you're done with this one, let's go on to lesson, let's work with asynchronous completions, okay, which is going to be lesson 4. We're going to work with basically how to deal with asynchronous completions, and yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. So as asynchronous completions, and if you're building APIs, this can come into use. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder right here, so a new file. I'm going to call it lesson underscore 04.py. So 04.py, I'm just going to go ahead, copy everything from here. We're just going to go ahead and modify it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and copy everything. So basically, we're importing the libraries that we need, setting a environment variable, having an image, image list, image roles that we want, get the read the image URLs, create a Gemini model that you want, the Gemini provision, and then finally go ahead. You can actually create asynchronous functions in order to run this. So we need to import, we need to create an asynchronous function on the app here. Okay, so I'm just going to, in fact, what I can simply do is I can change all this into a function. So I'm going to use an asynchronous function, async, and I'm going to say a function. I'm going to call it a stream, asynchronous stream, right? That's what a stream stands for, response, and then call back that a function. And then I'm going to go ahead and indent all this into the function right there. Good. So indent all that into a function, and then basically in here, I'm going to say a stream complete underscore complete. That's going to be asynchronous, right? Asynchronously do that. Okay, that's all I need to do. And basically now we need to call this function. But now how do we call an asynchronous function in Python? You can just go ahead and say a stream like this. You can just go ahead and say a stream like this. This is not going to work. This is a synchronous function, so it's not going to work. And if you don't believe me, you can try to run this. Actually, let's run this and see. Okay, so let's say Python 3, and then let's run this 4 and run this. This is not going to work because it's going to be in a synchronous function, right? You can't call a synchronous function just like you call a normal Python function. So it's going to return to you an error. Okay, see? Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. Was never awaited. You have to await a synchronous function. So how do you run a synchronous function in Python? So to run a synchronous function in Python, you have a special library in Python called import. It's called import async. Async, basically async IO, just like that. So that's the library I'm looking for. So async IO does it, and I'm going to use that right here. So I'm going to simply say cut this out, and I'm going to simply say async IO, and then simply call that, passing the function that you want to call. So basically, I'm going to say async IO dot run, and then finally passing the asynchronous function that we really want to call. So how do we do that? So I'm going to say async async IO dot run, and then finally passing the function that you the asynchronous function that you want to run. So in the background, Python is going to know that this is going to be an asynchronous function, so it's going to await for this to actually run. Okay, so once we have it done, we are good to go. And I just go back into the terminal, clear the terminal, and rerun that code again. So this time we shouldn't get that error that it was never awaited, because we're using the async sync IO library. So it should wait for that function to go through before okay. So now basically I get another error right here. So good. And the reason why we're getting this error is because this function is a synchronous function, so we have to use async here as well. Async for the for loop. So the for loop needs to be in a synchronous for loop in Python. Okay, that's a bit tricky, but yeah, that's how things work in Python. And yeah, so hopefully I don't have any errors done in my code now. So everything should work fine. So again, this is also going to return to me another error. Okay, And why do we get this error? The reason why we're getting this error is because we are not awaiting for this to run. So we need to await for this. So I need to say await. Okay, so I'm just telling you all the possible errors that you might make, so that if you have running your own program, you can actually spot these errors and catch them, okay, before they bring errors in your terminal. Okay, so once I have that, I run it again. Now you're going to await everything, and everything should work perfectly. So yeah, let's see, and hopefully we don't have any more errors and everything should work properly. Now it should return to us basically what is the name of the vehicle in the image, which year is the model, which year is the model. So let's see. So the middle is the vehicle is in the image is a Porsche 911 Carrera 4S. The model is a 2020 model. So actually, yeah, it's a 2019 model according to the image that I got online, but Gemini is saying it's a 2020 model. And again, I don't have a Porsche. I don't have a Porsche 911, so I can't really tell. But I really just love Porsche 911s. Okay, so that's it, and now that's how you can run asynchronous completions. Now let's see how you can run asynchronous completions with multiple images. So basically, we're going to have this another lesson right here, and I'm going to create lesson underscore 05.py. I'm keeping all this in separate files and documenting it properly, because if you guys want access to this code, if you go on the GitHub, you can easily find a part where you want to maybe refer to or look at. Okay, so that's it. And now let's look at how we can work with multiple images. Okay, so let me just go ahead. Basically, we're going to have basically the same setup right here. Our imports default basically standard imports, our libraries right here from Gemini, setup environment variable. Now in the image URLs, now I'm going to add another image URL right here. Okay, so let's give me a second. Let me get the other image URL and then I'll plug it in here. Okay, so I've just added the other image URL in here, and this is the image of the Eiffel Tower from Paris. Okay, so that's the image from the Eiffel Tower in Paris. So now we can ask it a bunch of prompts and ask it, we can ask it, let's say that give me a complete, give me more context about the images. Are they related? Basically, that's it. I want to ask it. So let me just see its reasoning abilities. So let me just go ahead and delete this, and let me just say, me more give me more context on the images. How are they related? Okay, that's my prompt right there, and you're going to pass in the image that we have. That's basically so. Now I'm going to now use, I can show another method. Instead of using a stream, you can also use a complete, asynchronous complete. Yeah, asynchronous complete. That's it. That's basically what you can do. Just change that into an asynchronous complete. So I'm just showing you different ways you can use to do this. Now if you have an asynchronous complete, you don't need this right here. You can just go ahead, because you're not streaming anything, you can just go ahead and simply print the a complete on the prompt. Let me just change that name a bit, response, and let me change that name right here, because you're not using the stream anymore, you're using an asynchronous complete. So that's basically it, what we need to do. Yeah, that's all we need to do. And basically also we need to run this function again, so we can change this function to be a complete instead of stream, because you're not streaming anything, we're just using an asynchronous complete method right here. Good. So once you have that done, we are good to go. So clear the terminal, and then just say Python 3 lesson, this is gonna be lesson 5.py, and then run that. This is lesson 5, right? Yeah, lesson 5. So let's run that code. And now we should use an asynchronous complete method. Basically, just the same as the complete that we saw in the very first right here. But now just add a in front of it, and you have to await this. And now you have to add this into a Python asynchronous function to be able to call it using the async library.run method, and then pass in the function name call. Okay, so that's basically it. So now let's see how we get back right here. So the image are related because they are both of famous landmarks. The first image is of Eiffel Tower, right? Correct. It's located in Paris, France. The second image is of a Porsche, which is a German sports car. Absolutely correct. Those are two iconic, right? The Porsche and the Eiffel Tower are iconic images that we have around the world. So that's basically it. So guys, that's it for the first part of the video. So now we have learned how to basically build basic multimodal applications. We have learned how to stream prompts using asynchronous completes, both for both single and multiple images. Now in the other coming videos, we're going to look at structured output, and then finally we're going to go ahead and do the final project in the last video. So guys, thank you guys for watching so much. Again, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you And you follow me on other social media platforms like LinkedIn, uh, my Twitter account. I also write articles about this stuff on Medium, so you can also follow me. All the links will be in the description. The link to repository to this video as well, a video series, so in the description of the video, so you can find that out as well. Okay, so guys, thank you guys for watching so much, and see you in the next one. Keep safe. Peace.